So let's talk about the 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLE-Class. It's a huge player in the luxury SUV game, for sure. But we're not just going to rattle off specs today. We're going to get into its personality, its whole identity, which is really all about quiet, confident luxury in a world that just keeps getting louder.
You know, this quote from our source material really nails it. The GLE isn't trying to be the flashiest or the most aggressive SUV on the block. Nope. Its superpower is being refined, incredibly comfortable, and just composed. So where does the GLE fit in the family picture? Well, you can see it right here. It's in that perfect sweet spot right between the smaller GLC and the much larger three-row GLS. It's for folks who want that premium space and feel, but without driving a massive land yacht.
Okay, here's the plan. We're going to start with its whole calm approach to luxury. Then we'll see what's new for 2026. After that, we'll dive into the engines, talk about how it actually feels to drive, and finally, we'll take a good look inside the cabin. First up, a calm approach to luxury. This is all about getting inside the head of the person this SUV was built for. Who is the GLE really for?
This right here paints a super clear picture. The ideal GLE driver is someone who wants comfort, not drama. They're looking for a smooth, quiet, premium ride for their daily life. That makes it pretty much perfect for families, busy professionals, or anyone who does a lot of long-distance driving and just wants to get there feeling relaxed.
All right, so how does that philosophy translate to the new 2026 model? Well, Mercedes isn't reinventing the wheel here. It's not a revolution. Instead, all the updates are about these subtle, smart refinements that just make the whole experience even better. But before we get to the cool new stuff, let's talk money. The 2026 GLE-Class kicks off at $63,400. Now, that price can climb all the way up to $95,500 depending on which engine you pick and how many options you tick. So yeah, it's sitting right where you'd expect in the premium midsize SUV world. The updates for this year? They're all about adding more personalization and comfort. You've got some fresh new paint colors to choose from. You can get these slick, power-operated rear window shades, which is great for passengers, and big news for the popular GLE 450 model, it now comes standard with that sporty AMG line exterior package. Okay, time to pop the hood. Section 3 is all about the engines and their efficiency. The GLE gives you a few different power options, and each one is really tailored to a different kind of driver. Let's break this down. The base model, the GLE 350, has a really solid 255 horsepower turbo four-cylinder. Then you step up to the GLE 450 and you get a big jump to a 362 horsepower inline six. And if you're someone who just wants all the power, well, there's the GLE 580 with a twin-turbo V8 pumping out a massive 504 horsepower. And this chart, man, it just makes it crystal clear. You can see that healthy jump from the 350 to the 450, and then, boom, another huge leap up to that V8-powered 580. Now, a really key piece of tech in the 350 and 450 engines is this 48-volt mild hybrid system. So what does that actually mean for you, the driver? It means acceleration from a dead stop is way smoother. There's less of that annoying hesitation, and it just makes the whole driving experience feel more seamless and refined. So, we know the specs, we know the numbers, but how does this thing actually feel when you're behind the wheel? That brings us to Section 4, the on-road experience. Look, if you remember one thing about how the GLE drives, make it this. Comfort is king. It is not trying to be some track day sports car. It's engineered from the ground up to be a calm, serene, and super relaxing place to spend your time. And you can feel that comfort-first approach in a bunch of ways. The steering, it's light and predictable, which makes it an absolute breeze to drive around town. The suspension is tuned to just soak up bumps, so you feel isolated from bad roads. And if you want the absolute ultimate in smoothness, you can get the optional adaptive air suspension. But hold on, comfortable doesn't mean it's slow, not at all. So the natural question is, okay, just how quick is it? The acceleration is totally confident and more than enough for everyday life. The all-wheel drive GLE 350 gets to 60 miles an hour in a very respectable 6.6 seconds. The GLE 450, though, does it in just 5.3. It's all about smooth, effortless power when you need it. All right, let's move inside for our last section. The cabin is really where the GLE's whole mission of luxury and real-world usability comes together. Once you're inside, it's all about high-quality materials and just a ton of space. You can choose from a really nice leatherette or go for genuine leather, and you can accent it with either classic wood trim or a more modern brushed aluminum. The second row has plenty of legroom, and you can even get an optional third row for that extra bit of flexibility. Now let's talk about practicality. Check this out. With the second row seats up, you can fit 11 carry-on suitcases back there. That is plenty of room for a family vacation.
But what if you need to haul something bigger, like from a trip to the hardware store? Fold those seats down and the cargo space just explodes. You can fit up to 26 carry-on bags. This thing is seriously practical.
It's also worth pointing out that the GLE comes in two different flavors. You have the standard SUV on the left, which is all about maximizing that practicality and cargo space. Then on the right, you've got the GLE Coupe, which has that sleeker, more style-focused design. It's for someone who's willing to trade a little bit of function for that extra bit of form. So what's the verdict? What's the bottom line here? The 2026 GLE-Class is a really confident choice for anyone who puts a premium on refined comfort and everyday usability. It's a luxury SUV that doesn't feel the need to shout about it, which is kind of a refreshing change from all the aggressive styling and super sharp handling out there.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. In a world where so many cars and designs are just screaming for attention, is this kind of quiet, understated confidence actually the ultimate form of luxury? It's an interesting question.